Hey, I'm in beautiful Oklahoma City this week. What a treat that is. It's actually pretty nice up here. It's nice to be in an area where people still have morals and convictions, even in the inner cities. That's kind of a lost thing around the country these days. Not all of them, but a much larger percentage in Oklahoma is that way, and I do respect them for that. Today we're going to talk about taxation, why we need to go to a national sales tax or a fair tax system or something in this country. Excuse me. It's that time of year, my nose is itching. Today, the average American pays in the neighborhood of 50% taxation to the government. And I know you're going to go, oh wait, I don't pay that much for income tax. I'm not talking about just income tax. I'm talking about exponential taxes added into products from the mines and the fields to the foundries, to the mills, to the manufacturing facilities, then to the distribution facilities, then to the regional distribution facilities, and then to the stores, and then you pay for it. That taxation added in all around the country today is somewhere in the neighborhood, economists have estimated at 15.1%. So I just want you to know, before you ever pay a dime in local tax, property tax, state tax, before you pay a state sales tax or a state income tax, before you pay a sewage tax, a water tax, an electricity tax, a mortgage tax, loan tax, whatever tax it is, before you pay any of that, you've already paid 15.1%. You're just not smart enough to realize it because they are smarter than us. That's how they do it. The incremental taxation is how they tax us at roughly 50% in this country today. Now, take that 15.1%. Now add it to your state income tax. Now add it to your property tax. Now add it to your state sales taxes. Add it. If someone actually sat down and figured out all the taxes that they paid today, and people actually knew what was going on, they would be angry. Very angry, and I'll tell you why. Because think about it this way. Half your income, half the average American income is going to taxes, right? On the other half, what do? We have a home, we have a family, we have cars, we buy our food, we pay our bills. We do all this with half our income, half. And yet the other half doesn't seem to be enough money for the people in Washington, D.C. Doesn't seem to be enough money for the governments that we send money to overseas. It doesn't seem to be enough money to fund Social Security. It doesn't seem to be enough money to do anything with. We're bankrupt. We just don't have any money. The truth is we're overspending, dramatically overspending. The United States is being extorted, and there are people in Washington, D.C. that are trying to fund the world. They want to fund people that aren't Americans, don't live here. We send money to overseas countries. I think last time I checked, we sent money to entitlement money to over 100 countries around the globe. Literally hundreds of billions of dollars a year. But we can't give people on Social Security entitlements a raise, can we? And it's not an entitlement, let's be honest. People paid into it. Let's call it what it is, Social Security retirement. This is your retirement fund. Well, I've been doing a lot of research and going back and looking. Where did all this money go? Where did it go? What happened? Well, it started back during the Vietnam War. The United States government decided that they could write bonds and borrow against Social Security. But here's the catch-22. They never paid it back. Since that time, we've been borrowing money from Social Security all the way to present day. Currently, over $2 trillion has been drained out of Social Security. Over $2 trillion. Now, how this affects you is they're stealing your retirement. Your Social Security retirement, not entitlement. Your Social Security retirement is being stolen by people in Washington, D.C., and it's being given to foreign governments. It's being used to fund wars. It was used for the bank bailouts. And believe me when I tell you this, they have no intention of repaying a penny of it. Not one dime did they ever plan on repaying. It is nothing but legalized theft. It is a elitist way of stealing from the public. That's all it is. To date, nobody's paid a penny back for the bank bailouts. Not 1 cent. No one's paid a penny back to fund the Iraq wars. Not a penny. Nobody's paid back for the other wars prior to that and the other programs. You know, one of the things they catch us on is the term unified budget. That's a big term in Washington, D.C. Because when they came out with the term unified budget, right? And this was way back during the Vietnam War, when they decided that they could use that term, what that term does is put Social Security in the general fund, allows people to borrow from it. The only problem is the congressmen in Washington, D.C. never had any intention of paying it back. They haven't since the 60s. Okay? We have got to stop this. Social Security needs to be put in a private trust fund. Okay? Number one. And laws need to be passed that no one is allowed to borrow from it. No one, under any circumstances, even in a matter of life or death. You can't touch this money. And the reason they can't touch this money is because it's not their money. It's your money. Okay? And if we're not going to do that, then let's just abolish Social Security. Let's start phasing it out right now. Let's take every child that is 18 years of age and put them in an individual retirement account. And yeah, it'll take us quite a few decades, but we'll wipe it out because eventually people are going to get old and die. And I know that's people don't want to think about that, but it will happen. It's taken us roughly 60 years to get to this point with Social Security that it's just something that needs to happen. It's going to be gone by it's either 2032 or 2038. It's going to be non-existent. It's going to be bankrupt. What that means is they'll print more money. The cost of living is going to skyrocket. They'll still give you a check. You just won't be able to buy crap with it, right? Well, okay, you may be able to buy crap. You can probably go buy some fertilizer with it, but that's about it. You know, and we've been seeing this happen for the last decade. You know, everything cost of living wise has tripled in price, almost tripled in 10 years. In another 10 years, it's going to be 6 times. In another 10 years, it's going to be over 10 times what it was. So that retirement account that you have is going to be pretty meaningless if we don't do something, and we don't do it now. It's something that has to be done immediately. The can can't be kicked down the road on this anymore. And you know, the fact of these incremental taxation is not enough to pay for anything. You know, 50% of every American's income is not enough to pay for everything in this country. Is a load of malarkey. How much is enough? 100%? Is that what we need to go to? Total slavery? Because that's what we're talking about here. Financial servitude, complete and total slavery. That's what we're talking about. So I guess the question is, you know, how proud are you to be an American today and being a 50% slave and having your retirement completely stolen from you? Well, not completely, but we'll say 2/3 of it stolen from you. How proud does that make you to be an American, to be an elderly person living in this country, knowing that your lifestyle has been cut by 2/3 in your twilight years after you worked your whole life to support your family, to pay your taxes, and to do the right thing in this country? You did the right thing, and you're going to wind up getting screwed royally. Anyway, just an update on the tax situation, the Social Security situation, and the fraud and crony politics going on in Washington, D.C. And I wish Americans would wake up. I wish you would wake up and pull your heads out of the sand and understand that our government is about nothing but money. Money, money, money. They don't care about right or wrong anymore. They don't care about anything anymore. The only thing they care about is making more money and stealing the wealth of every last human being in this country that they can. That's all they care about. Anyway, just an update from Oklahoma this week. Hey, God bless, and hopefully everybody starts paying attention one day. I certainly hope so, because your bad decisions are affecting me, and I don't appreciate it. Hey, good night, and God bless.